Hello everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I'm here with a 12 by 12 layout for you. I'm actually going to start this page with this Basil 6 by 6 pad. It is the Adventures of paper pad. It's just a 6 by 6 pad. I've used this a few times, and I got it from Tuesday Morning. It's a little bit difficult to find now, but if you can find it, it's really a cute pattern paper. So I pulled out 3 of them that I wanted to use with this photo, and I'll tell you a little bit about this photo, but first I want to tell you that mask paper, I think I actually am using it upside down, but I wanted the mask to be on the left side of the photo, and truly the mask that they're wearing, or that Calen and his grandfather are wearing, I made one of them, and it looks just like the mask that's on this paper. So that's the reason I wanted to pull that in. And I wanted a little bit of that red peeking out from behind, because I've pulled out these different pattern papers from my stash just to see any of them could have worked. I really like the lightning bolt one, but I just don't like the way it looked with the papers and with the photo. The photo is fairly dark, so I felt like I really needed to make sure that the background was lighter. That way it would kind of offset the darkness of the pattern of the photo itself. Now, the background paper that I'm going to choose here is actually a Bella Boulevard paper. It's a little bit older. I was looking for a date on it, but it doesn't have one that I could find. And it's from their estate sale collection. And it has a lot of words in the background. It's just a text paper, and it's more of a cream-based paper, but I like the fact that the bulk of the layout, this pattern paper cluster that I have in the middle here, really stands off the background. It is different enough from the background that it really looks separate, which I like, because I wanted the photo and everything to stand out. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the photo, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing, because I'm just kind of going through doing the same thing. So the photo is a picture of Calen and his grandfather, Ernest, dad. And Calen has always been really big into superheroes, and we have a bunch of different little superhero dress-up costumes and things like that. And I did make a couple superhero masks for him myself. So this picture, I wasn't actually here when this was taken. I think it was one Saturday that they were up here, and I was at work that day, but it looks like Calen got Grandaddy to put his superhero mask on, and Calen's wearing a mask as well, and so they're running around the house playing with their mask on. So I just think it's such a cute picture, because you don't always see, it's harder to catch pictures of grandfathers dressing up with their grandsons, so this was really a cute picture. Now, what I'm doing on the background paper, this background paper has a ton of text on it, and it's just got a bunch of different things. It's basically a dictionary paper. It has a bunch of words with their definitions, and it has like, verb, noun, adjective, whatever. So what I went through and did is I took the whole sheet of paper, and I just took a very fine point pen, and I underlined a lot of words. And that, to me, adds a really subtle bit of texture in the background. If you actually take the time to read the words, I only underline words that apply to the two of them and superheroes. So it adds to the layout as well if you take the time to read it. So just to give you a couple ideas of what's underlined, there's words like exceptional, distinctive, mighty, muscular, powerful, resilient, unfailingly remarkable, great, magnificent, marvelous, outstanding, wonderful, fantastic, wonderfully brilliant, enthusiastic, loving, loyal, virtuous, spectacular, glow, radiant, things like that. And a lot of them are kind of in little clusters, so I just underline those. I'm going to make my title this extra special, and this is from the Pinkfish Studios Life Noted Acetate Die Cut Words, and that's going to be the bulk of my layout. I'm going to use this notebook sticker that I have to the bottom right. I'm going to use that as my journaling spot, and the notebook part of it where it looks like it's ripped out of a notebook piece of paper, I'm going to cut apart some just scrap pieces of paper to put behind those. That way those little tabs, like the ripped tabs, will kind of stand off the page a little bit, and they're not going to be glued down. I'm adding some embellishment throughout the page, not a whole lot, but enough to really complement the photo and the layout. I've been really into adding subtle embellishments here recently, not a whole lot, but truly a lot of embellishment if you were to just make a pile of embellishments, but they're smaller, they don't make as big of a emphasis on the page, but together I think it makes the page look really nice. So I had cut out that Captain Adventure little like diamond type of shape out of that red pattern paper. And then I also took a few labels from that label sticker book that I have, and that was actually an American Crafts Journaling. It's called Journaling 2 sticker book. And then I pulled out some chipboard pieces from me and my Big Ideas scrapbook kit, and one of them says, well, it says awesome, and I'm going to add one here in a moment that says love to laugh, and I'm going to make a small cluster to the top left of this layout. Now that extra special, I just used my sticker maker to make that into a sticker and add the adhesive over the entire back of it. And then this is where I'm going to take that journaling piece and put a little bit of scrap paper up under those little perforated, not perforated, but torn out tabs. That way they stand up. And I'm just cutting little tiny bits of paper off of this scrap piece that I have here. My journaling is going to say oh, I guess I did a typo. It says, on a visit from Grandma and Granddaddy, Calen pulled out his superhero mask. He and Granddaddy went around the house, saving the world from all the bad guys that lurk around. We are so lucky to and safe now with these two around. And that's just going to be my journaling. And on a little scrap of that red pattern paper out of that 6x6 pad had the same little diamond shapes on the back of it, and they were just outlined in white. So I cut out a few of them. They were just in the navy blue. I cut out a few, and I'm going to add 3 of them down here to the bottom of the journaling piece, and then I'm also going to add one up at the top left in my top left cluster that I'm going to do. I was doing this layout while I was doing other things, so I kind of disappear here for a moment, but I'll be right back in just a moment, and you'll see me start with completing that journaling and continuing to embellish. Before I actually had glued down everything, I went ahead and added a few little word stickers, and those are actually from a Cosmo Cricut Tiny Text Life Story Words, and the one at the top of the photo says try to learn something new every day, and then at the bottom of the photo it says be creative, or to be creative one must play. And I thought those were fitting for this photo in particular. I think the relationship that Calen has with his grandfather is extremely special. He lost his other grandfather when he was only 2. I guess he was 2 when my dad died. And he still remembers them, but he of course is going to have the opportunity to have more memories with Ernest's dad. And so we were trying our hardest to make sure that they spent a lot of time together. And I think that's really special. I like to document those type of things. Ernest's dad is kind of serious, just like most fathers are. So I think it's really special when you get to see kind of a goofy photo like this of their relationship together. Just cleaning up a bit of my desk, trying to decide what else I want to add. Those are those word strips, and this is where I'm going to add the second one right up here to the top of the photo. And I'm also going to add this one label that says Dream Big. Now I had kind of a green arrow on the end of it, and I'm going to go back and cut that off in a moment because there's nothing else on the layout that has that green, and I just felt like it was throwing off the color scheme a little bit. So I'm going to go back and I'll cut that off in just a moment, but for right now it says Dream Big. It's on a blue tab with like a green arrow at the end. I had pulled out a little pile of supplies here to flip through. Anytime I sit down and do a layout that's not from a kit, I pull out just a variety of supplies out of my embellishment box and paper box and just to work with. Now these teal glittered arrows are actually from a Freckled Fawn, not kit, but blooper. I think it was a blooper bag that I had gotten. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that almost everything I got in that blooper bag was perfectly fine. It may not have had the packaging the way that they needed it to be for them to sell it, but it's perfectly fine to use. So those glittered arrows are from that Freckled Fawn bag, and so is this little star tab that I created, or that I added up here to the very top of the layout. It's that same teal color as those glittered arrows, so it fits in well with the background. I'm going to add 2 of these chipboard circles, and these are old. These are from an old Studio Calico kit that I had in, I think it was 2013. So I'm going to add the red 2 down here at the bottom, and then there's this one that just has, it's just a pattern. It has red triangles up here. And I just wanted to pull in a little bit of more red around the layout, and these little chipboard circles were a perfect way to do that. There were a lot more on that chipboard sheet, but I don't think any of the other phrases or symbols matched with this layout, so that's why I limited it to just these 2. So I'm just looking else, and I'm putting that Love to Laugh chipboard piece up here at the top. This one came together really nicely. I like the way that this one ended up turning out, and it was just a really smooth layout to complete. I'm going to finish up here in just a moment, and thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. I hope you are enjoying the videos that I am putting up. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber already, and then make sure you go check out my Design by Melody Facebook page as well, and join the group there. All right, guys, thank you so much, and enjoy your afternoon. Bye.